This will bring a huge opportunity for small and medium scale of merchants. They can get customers who are not their customers earlier. So that's a huge advantage that you'll have. There are about 380,000 merchants already, and I'm sure all the QR merchant acquirers are going to acquire more and more. And especially the small timers who are not able to take and accept a card, and Indian tourists who are coming with the cards, they will not have the opportunity to pay to a small merchants. But with the QR, you enable them to accept cards.
So if you take Sri Lanka is a well-banked country, unlike other countries. Because Sri Lanka has a population of 22 million, we have more than 30 million bank accounts. So which means pretty much everybody has a bank. So what we have enabled here is a person can make a payment using his bank account. That is what we have enabled through this. So all you do is you need an app from somebody which is able to scan a QR and the money will get transferred from your account to the merchant's account. So you can have the merchant QR issued by one bank, app issued by another bank, account in another bank. So it can connect all this together into a single system. So it becomes truly interoperable.
ලංකාවේ බැංකු මූල්‍ය නොවන ආයතන ටෙලිකොම් ආයතන ඔක්කොම එකතු වෙලා තමයි ලංකා QR කියන සෙන්ට්‍රල් බැංකුවත් ලංකා පේ ආයතනත් එකතු වෙලා ලොන්ච් කරලා තියෙන ලංකා QR ප්‍රෝග්‍රෑම් එක කොහොමද මර්චන්ට් කෙනෙක් වෙන්නේ ඕනෑම බැංකුවක් ඕනෑම ෆයිනෑන්ෂල් ඉන්ස්ටිටියුෂන් එකක් ඒත් එක්කම ටෙල්කෝ එකක් දැනට ලංකා QR ඉෂුව කරන්න බැඳලා ඉන්නවා ඉතින් මේ සති තුන ඇතුළතදී ඔක්කොම ඉන්ස්ටිටියුෂන්ස් ටික වගේ සර්ටිෆයි වෙලා ඒක ඉෂුව කරන්න බැඳලා ඉන්නවා බැංකුවට කතා කරලා කියන්න අවශ්‍යයි ලංකා QR මර්චන්ට් කෙනෙක් වෙන්න ඕන කියලා එතකොට ඒ බැංකුවෙන් පුළුවන් එතුමන්ලට ලංකා QR කේතය යොදාගෙන payment accept කරන්න පුළුවන්කම ඇති කරගන්න.
That a person who's transacting from an Indian bank account making a payment to Sri Lankan account, will he have any markup? Are there any transaction limits?
There is a merchant discount rate that is applicable like in the cards that you just mentioned. Now that is currently regulated by the central bank and that doesn't exceed the current card payment MDR. If you look at a card payment, if a foreigner comes into this country or anyone uses a card, there is about a 2.5% to 3% which is charged by a general card operator, international operator. In this instance, we have capped it to 1.6% to 1.8% I think maximum. Now whether that translates into an exchange rate cost, that's a separate story. The exchange rate mechanism is up to the relevant banks who are you're right, there has to be a third currency involved. The exchange rate implication on this type of cards are fairly lower than the traditional forms of card payment. We are going to cap it to a transaction limit of 200,000 rupees. So which means that if you have a 1 million transaction, you will have to scan it 5 times. But as time goes on and as the people tend to be more familiar with the transaction and the central bank and monitor the transaction flows, those limits can be subsequently increased.
දැන් ශ්‍රී ලංකාවට පැමිණෙන ඉන්දිය සංචාරකයන්ට විතරක් නෙමෙයි දැන් ඉන්දියාවට යන ශ්‍රී ලංකීය සංචාරකයන්ටත් මේ මොන හරි වාසි තමයි.
ෆස්ට් ස්ටේජ් එකේ ඉන්දියන් සංචාරකයන් මෙහාට එන එක තමයි එනේබල් කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ෆේස් 2 එකේ අපි ඒකත් එනේබල් කරනවා. ලංකාවේ පුද්ගලයෙක් පිට ඉන්දියාවට ගියාම කරන්න
භාණ්ඩ ආන යන අපන යන ක්‍රියාවලියකදී මේ ගෙවීම් ක්‍රමය සිදු කරන්න පුළුවන්.
දැනට බෑ.
What sort of steps have you taken to mitigate the risk of fraudulent activities and security risks?
ගොඩක් මේ frauds වෙන්නේ security flow එකක් අන්ද නෙමෙයි majority. customer අපි දැකලා තියෙනවා මේ one time password එක අපිට SMS එකක් හැටියට එන එක WhatsApp වල copy කරලා අරිනවා. අර fraudster විනාඩි 5කින් loan එකක් දෙනවා කිව්වම හරි තමන්ට මුදල් ලැබනවා කියවම collection එකදී OTP එක share කරනවා WhatsApp කරා. ඒක නිකන් අර card එක කාට හරි දීලා pin එකක් දුන්නාම මේ මිනිස්සු සල්ලි හදන් යනවා. ඉතින් ඒකට කාටවත් blame කරන්න බෑනේ.
During President Ranil Wickremesinghe's visit to India in July of 2023, an economy predicated on digital transactions between India and Sri Lanka replacing cash transactions was the centre of discussions. Last year, Prime Minister Modi and Sri Lankan President Ranil Wickremesinghe signed an agreement in India accepting the Unified Payments Interface in Sri Lanka. The agreement was inked during President Ranil Wickremesinghe's 2-day visit to India. As such, the Unified Payments Interface, or UPI, a system that facilitates multiple bank accounts into a single mobile application, merging several banking features, seamless fund routing, and merchant payments under one hood, was launched in Sri Lanka today. The UAE, Oman, Nepal and France have already adopted the UPI payment system, while East African nation Mauritius also launched the payment system along with Sri Lanka today. The event to mark the merging of the UPI payment system with Sri Lanka's QR payment system Lanka Pay was joined in on by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi and Prime Minister of Mauritius Pravind Jugnauth via an online video conference, while President Ranil Wickremesinghe joined the event from the Presidential Secretariat. Marking the occasion, an Indian national residing in Sri Lanka executed the first transaction through the UPI payment system, thereby officially launching the payment system in Sri Lanka.
For thousands of years, payments have taken place between our two countries. So what we are doing today is only upgrading it technologically. You no longer have coins, you have Lanka QR and the NIPL together. And certainly, as more and more Indian tourists visit Sri Lanka, this will be used in every village in our country. Furthermore, the transactions that go on between Sri Lanka and Tamil Nadu and Sri Lanka and Mumbai of such scale that this certainly is of valuable use to us, especially to the merchants. We have about, I think, 400,000 who are now engaged in this.
Last year, during President Wickremesinghe's visit to India, we had adopted a vision document. Increasing financial connectivity was a key aspect of that. I am very pleased that today we have achieved this goal. The pace of digital transformation will increase. There will be significant changes in local economies. It will also promote tourism between our countries, and I am confident that Indian tourists too will give priority to UPI destinations.